we can go right ahead and go into the first segment, which is going to be all about Paul George. Now, for those of you guys that have a little bit of a flimsy memory, Paul George was recently let go from the Clippers, and they let him walk in free agency, and the team that he's finally decided to choose to play for was the 76ers. He actually finally, went to practice and, unveiled his jersey and wearing number 8 in practice. That's the new number that he picked. We all know that Paul George, he idolizes Kobe, and the first number that he actually wore when he was on the Pacers was 24 in honor of Kobe before changing it to 13, so that way his nickname can be PG-13. So, little fun fact right there. And so he's sort of, obviously, he's wanted to, well, he's happy with his decision on leaving the Clippers, right? That is 100%, like, without a doubt. And another thing that some people might actually forget was that he made some comments, like, before his tenure with the Clippers even happened. He was saying that in the end, well, he feels like at the end of his career, this is where he wants to retire. He wanted to retire in a Clippers uniform, right? But that ultimately did not happen. And he says this a lot about practically every single organization he's been a part of. He said that with the Pacers, he said that with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now he said that with the Clippers. And it really seems like every single time, like, he joins a team, he says he wants to stay, but then things don't go the way that they plan, and he ends up leaving for a completely different team. Now, this is just like a pattern. This seems to be a pattern, but that's not even the comment that I want to address. So, Paul George, since leaving the Clippers, this is a quote that came out like yesterday, I believe, and he says, quote, "Playing for the Clippers instead of the Lakers felt like he was playing for the B team." Right? Like, there's the Clippers, they always have this stipulation on not really being the Los Angeles's team, right? Like, Los Angeles, they've had 2 teams for basketball for the longest time, and the most successful franchise that Los Angeles has ever had is the Los Angeles Lakers, obviously. And having another franchise play in the exact same city when there's already a successful franchise is going to make the franchise with less accomplishments feel a little bit bitter. It's not the same where it's like, how do I put this? Like the Knicks and the Nets, right? Like they play in this, like, the same state, right? But in recent history, they don't have any championships. So it's sort of like one doesn't really, obviously, the Knicks, they do get overshadowed, but it's not like they greatly overshadow them in terms of popularity, right? It's mainly popular because of tourists, the New York Knicks. But and honestly, you know what? That might actually be a bad example now that I think about it. I can't use football because, I mean, the Giants and the Jets, they do share the exact same stadium, similar to how the Clippers and the Lakers share the exact same, basketball arena, basketball court, and, well, in crypto arena. But now that the Clippers, they are getting their new basketball court, but they've owned the same basketball court for the longest time, and it's not, I can't really say it's the same thing as the Giants and the Jets, because the Giants, they have won a Super Bowl in recent history, unlike, the Jets. But it's similar, well, it's different in the sense that, both of those teams are relatively bad. Now, I'm getting a little sidetracked, honestly, but, the Clippers, I mean, well, Paul George and his time with the Clippers, he says that it's the B team, right? Like, why on earth is he saying this only after playing with them? Like, this feels incredibly weak to me. I don't know why. I feel like this, backhanded quote is a little bit unnecessary, because it's like, okay, you feel like this was the B team instead of playing for the Lakers, but he had the option of playing for the Lakers before he had the option of, staying with the Clippers or being traded to the Clippers. Like in 2018 or 2019, when he was having arguably his best season on Oklahoma City, right? He was actually, even before that, before he signed his contract with OKC, he had the option of leaving Oklahoma in free agency and going with the Lakers. A lot of people thought he was going with the Lakers, but then he decided to, stay and re-sign with OKC. Then, after 1 year with OKC, he decides to get traded over to the Clippers. So, it was entirely his choice on whether or not he was going to play for the Lakers or whether or not he was going to play for the Clippers. Like, saying that it was like playing for the B team it sort of sounds like, he regrets the decision of joining the Clippers, which doesn't make any sense to me because, like, he's responsible for the Clippers, making it to their first ever Western Conference Finals appearance. They've never made a Western Conference Finals before Paul George, and ironically enough, this happened without Kawhi Leonard in the lineup. Like, this was with Paul George in the lineup, and they were able to make their first ever Western Conference Finals appearance, and they almost won it had it not been for Chris Paul absolutely destroying the Clippers in Game 6. But again, this backhanded quote, I really feel like it's kind of weak in my personal opinion, because it's like you had the option to leave, you had the option to go play for the Lakers, yet. And not only that, you were also, the Clippers throughout the entire time that they've had, Kawhi Leonard, especially in the first year. In the very first year that they had Kawhi Leonard, they were making advertisements bragging about how LA was their city and how the Clippers, they were the better team in Los Angeles as opposed to the Lakers being the better team. Like that, they were peddling that to the utmost maximum level. And coincidentally enough, the Lakers, they actually got more hate with LeBron for winning a title than the Clippers have ever gotten hate for not even making the finals in the tenure that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have been on the squad. I mean, this was said to be the best two-way duo since Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. That was what everyone thought in the beginning when he was on the Clippers, and it amounted to nothing. Like, the only reason why it felt like he was on the Los Angeles B team instead of, the A team, which in his eyes is the Lakers, at least according to this quote, is because of himself and because of Kawhi Leonard's, just the fact that Kawhi can't be healthy in the postseason, the fact that Paul George can't be healthy in the postseason, and the fact that they blew it in 2020. That was really where it all went downhill that was really where it all, backfired for the Clippers, because they were peddling it to the max that they were the best team in Los Angeles. Everybody was super excited for the Battle of LA, and we never got that matchup in the history of the playoffs. We have never gotten that since they joined it and they made that move. And it's all because of them. Like, the only reason why it felt like the B team, it's Paul George's fault and Kawhi Leonard's fault, in my opinion, for either A, not being healthy, or for B, not capitalizing when you have the best opportunities to win. But that's just my opinion, because they only had one really successful year when they made it to the Western Conference Finals. Aside from that, it was nothing but disappointments in every single postseason. So you can't leave the team and be like, oh, it was like playing for the B team, when the reason why it felt like playing with the B team was because you and the other star player on the team weren't stepping up or weren't even available for your team when you desperately needed it. Like, I think it's an incredibly underhanded quote, and I think it's rude, I think it's unnecessary, incredibly unneeded, and, he just better pray that he makes it farther than the second round with the 76ers, because if he doesn't, throughout any of the years in his contract, there's going to be problems. Like, people are everyone's top basketball players in the world, and everyone's list of the best basketball players, they're gonna have to, his legacy is gonna be on the line. Why didn't I say that before? I'm overcomplicating things. His legacy would be on the line. Not that he really had much of a legacy to begin with, but you know exactly what I mean. So with that, we are out of time for the first segment. And now we will go ahead and go into the second segment where I talk about Joel Embiid and his comments on Jason Tatum, his teammate on Team USA, and back-to-back Sixers topics. So might as well go ahead and get started into it. And I will answer that comment right after this short break, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I will be right back. Please stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown. Get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign,